Yo, 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 yo. What's up, what's up, what's up? Another great episode of the Two Ninja Kickback. Hopefully I didn't kill our headphone listeners. Tone, what you smoking, bro?
I'm smoking on some KK right now at the moment.
That sounds beautiful, bro.
Oh yeah, some nice KK.
Sound like a nice, groovy high. You in for?
It's chill. I wouldn't say it's the best grown, you feel me, but
Oh,
it's
a
definitely
homegrown
KK.
joint?
Yeah, I know
Somebody got some
somebody that got a
seeds?
hand of the seeds.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. How's it smoke?
and it's flowery. You feel me?
Mm.
The nugs is not as dense as like the original for real, but he did a nice job and shit. It's a little potent. It ain't gas,
It ain't
but
pulling.
it's yeah, it's enough to get me high, but it ain't no gas. You feel me?
I know.
You missed a
See,
few
that
steps,
sucks.
if that makes sense.
I know when he said he got KK, you probably lit up. Like, oh yeah, let me grab that for sure. Oh
Like the
man.
smell there, everything's there. The density, the texture of it. You feel me? But it's just not hitting.
That's unfortunate. I got this Black Diamond OG. This shit pulling pretty good.
Shouts out to my nigga Greg. You feel me? That's a street
Shouts
name,
out to
so I
Greg,
ain't
yeah.
snitching on that nigga.
Shouts out to that nigga Greg. Let's just get into the shit. You know, with all the recent next gen console wars and all that stuff going on. I wanted to kind of dive back into the old bag and talk about another. I wouldn't say a few console launches. I'd say a company as a whole, and why the downfall of Sega happened. And just looking back, I don't know if you remember the Sega Genesis, just how many accessories this whole had was just immaculate, yo.
It was well over 3 dozen accessories, my G.
And you know what it was, yo? I think me personally, I think what it was like at that time period, so many kids were into. Oh damn! Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. So many kids were into like fucking Segas and Nintendos. It was like a huge explosion. So like instead of them working or putting the money in the R&R, research and development and all that shit into another console, they didn't. They just kept filling that same console stuff. Like they had a Sega keyboard, Sega CD. I think they had a Sega VHS attachment. They had fucking a fucking slew of controllers for the and it was just like, dog, just make another console, motherfucker. Like put something else out. Like we done with this, buddy. Like no, don't give me an attachment to play a CD-ROM on my shit. Go build another console to take CD-ROMs.
I feel as though they was too ambitious in the early end, like trying to compete with Nintendo in a sense. Because when you look at the accessory game, Nintendo has a slew of the accessory game.
Yeah, I forgot. We're not even gonna get into Nintendo, but Nintendo has a fuck ton of accessories.
Nigga, it's the reason why them niggas don't got put a console out till this day.
But it was rumored that around that time, Sony went to Nintendo. They wanted them to build their next console. They said no, we're not gonna do it. So Sony put out the PlayStation, and then Nintendo was working on the 64. They ended up putting that out, and the other competitor in that race was Sega, and it was like, all right, so they moving toward this, and you guys are kind of still putting a lot of research and development and other accessories into this. Like, not many people know, but Sega actually had an attachment that allowed you to play online. Like
wow,
that's
new to me.
That's how far that they went into it. Like they were really invested in the Sega Genesis, and it was like, dog, y'all got to move on. they and I can't imagine the amount of money that they'd lost on that. Like think about it, they're in this new situation, and then instead of them moving on, they just taking losses because people are getting ready for the next. And then at the time, Nintendo was whooping their ass.
Nintendo was whooping everybody's ass. Like let's cut that shit clear cut. Short period, you feel me? Like the late 80s, early 90s, it was no hope for Atari. It was no hope for Sega. It was no hope. And shit, who else was out there at that time? You feel me?
It didn't matter.
Motherfuckers didn't matter. You feel me?
Zelda,
like Nintendo,
they had Mario. Like what y'all niggas doing?
Dog. Donkey Kong was coming out of development. Motherfucking Street Fighter 1 was just coming out of development. All types of shit, bro. Like. And it was no way for Sega to actually compete.
But the sad part about it was like just the missteps of the CEO. Like I remember, I only say I remember. I do remember Sega Saturn ads, but they were so far and thin, and then they didn't
I ain't
make
gonna
any
lie.
fucking sense. Like I remember
Sega
seeing
Saturn had the best ads in the fucking
they were
world.
so
I will
fucking
give them
weird,
that.
yo. They were weird. You
It
didn't know what
was
it
lit as
was.
shit.
They
With
were lit.
Shintaro, the Japanese fucking karate man and shit coming through the fucking club, body slamming kids and shit, yo, because they wasn't playing Sega. That shit made me want to Sega. I ain't gonna sit here in front, bro.
I'm talking about when they had the Sega Saturn launch.
Oh yeah, well the launch, yeah.
And they were putting like, you know, the pre-launch when they do the advertisement and stuff. You can tell they didn't put very much money into the advertising off rip. So nobody really even knew that they were coming out with the Sega Saturn.
True, true, true.
Like I remember seeing a few ads and like, you know, the play not PlayStation, but the magazines at the time. But it was like they didn't show the console, they didn't explain anything. It was just like a bald chick with a ring around her face, and it said, "Are you ready for the future?" and stuff like that. You're like, "What is this?" Like, I
Want to
don't
hear
know.
how fucked up Sega is though?
Uh huh.
I'm glad that you pointed to that. Niggas in the hood didn't even know Sega Genesis was out until Biggie said something.
See, that's sad.
Like no bullshit.
That's sad.
It's a lot of niggas in the hood that did not know Sega had a console, another console out until Biggie said Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis.
But listen, yo,
No bullshit.
the crazy shit, and then like this is your like you competing with a PlayStation. Like you know how much people were anticipating the fucking PlayStation, how much people were anticipating the N64. So
Oh yeah.
for you to just slam your balls on the table like that, like man, we ain't no fucking money. We Sega, nigga. Like put these balls in the table. We gonna sell, nigga. And then during E3, like this was the early E3. These niggas announced, yo, the console out, y'all can buy it right now, but you have to go to Toys R Us, and they only ship 30,000. Like, why would you do that? Like, like,
You just spit in everybody's face basically.
like that's the most insane thing I've ever heard. And you're like, you got to think. How much money probably went into the development of this console? And let's be honest, gaming wasn't at like the crazy it is now. Like,
Right.
like niggas probably might have grabbed the console. Maybe if you got dough, niggas probably had it. But usually you probably wouldn't get the console for if you was lucky Christmas or some shit or your birthday or some shit like that. Or it might be like the whole house get a console if you living with siblings and shit. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like for these niggas to not ship a whole lot. And then not tell anybody, like, who did you expect to buy it? But then you still got to take the hit for all the money you put into it. Like, that's just not smart business, right?
I guess maybe the CEOs of Sega was living ahead in the future. Maybe they thought of Twitter before Twitter was even a
You know what it
thing.
was?
You feel me?
They were living in the future. Like, the CEO had actually got word of what, you know, PlayStation was up to. And he knew the PlayStation was getting ready to come. So what they did was they shipped most of the consoles to Japan. They sold the fuck out in Japan. And then when it came to fill the North America order, like they were trying to do the same thing, like beat Sony to the punch, but they didn't have
They fell
enough.
short.
You feel me? They didn't have enough supply ready. And then so motherfuckers were, all right, I can't get it. I don't know about it. So of course when the PlayStation came out, everybody bought a PlayStation, and then the dollars picked up, and then the shit picked up, and it was like, oh yeah, you can get this too. And it's like, yo, I already got a PlayStation, buddy. Like niggas wasn't having two consoles like that. Like it was rare to hear somebody had more than one console in their house.
For sure.
Like you
Unless
told a
you
nigga
came
you
from, like,
had
a two-parent household.
yeah.
my nigga.
If you said like,
That
oh, I
was the
got this
only
and
time.
this, you oh this nigga rich. Like he's rich. And I can't believe it because it's like at the time, like I remember being crowded around the Genesis playing Mortal Kombat 3 and shit. Like just the moments they created, and not for nothing, I don't think outside of Sonic, Sega had really many mascots that they could keep propelling their games with. Like this, I know the Sega Saturn launched with like Virtual Fighter as a title that came with it, but it was like I can't really name a whole lot of games outside of that. I remember they had like Keyman, they had Knights, they had a few good titles. I won't say that, but it was like they didn't have a big following around them around their titles.
Yeah. I mean, well, shit, excuse me. I don't know. That just goes into like, I really don't even know what to call it. I guess they like it's really just dropping the ball on that shit. You feel me?
Dropping
Like,
their balls on the table. You're like,
yeah, like
I
I
like
really don't even know what to call it.
who's steering the ship? Like, like you feel me? Like if you work for this company, you, like somebody had to have some type of wherewithal, or how great did the Sega sell? I think what it was didn't Mortal Kombat have the blood version only on Sega for a little bit?
It wasn't on. It wasn't on Sega.
It wasn't, or it was?
It wasn't. The only way you could get the blood version was on NES.
Something had to juice the Sega, yo. Like, it's something had to have him right there with Nintendo.
Now
at some
Sega
point.
had like multiple different versions of Mortal Kombat. Like you had the Gold Edition and shit like that. You feel me? They had like different director's cuts of games and shit like that. They had like
They had
when
the
it came to
X-Men
like
series.
exclusive.
They must have had a few joints. Because something,
Yeah,
had
when it
to,
came to, like-
something had to have given these niggas such a big head in the situation, right?
See, but the only time I can actually say Sega was really a champion in my eyes is when the Dreamcast came out. That was about it.
And we ain't gonna accelerate. We're gonna get there. But
So I don't even know what the hell Sega really had for real.
I think I'm pretty sure they must have come, like, for them to put so much money into the Sega series or Sega Genesis, whatever. They had to have been selling a lot of these motherfuckers, yo.
They had to.
Was it the Biggie influence? Was
It
Biggie the
had to
first nigga to endorse a product and it went gold or something?
I mean, Run DMC did do Adidas, and we saw the tremendous sale in Adidas. You feel me?
Oh
And
shit!
then you can-
Oh shit! We
you-
on to
you
something,
feel
yo?
me? It might be.
We on to something?
Like I said, I mean, it's like my uncle and his homie said, yo, when they was listening to Biggie, they had no idea what the fuck a Sega Saturn was until they went to motherfucking Toys R Us and shit like that, and they was like, oh shit, okay, you feel me? So it comes into a point. I mean, hey, yo, hip hop always do influence shit, and hip hop always put the notoriety on shit.
It does. But like I think what was that god awful?
And how he said that
handheld
shit,
they
that shit
had?
was styling on niggas, yo. Like
It was.
it made niggas want a Sega Saturn.
Sega Genesis.
Yeah, Sega Genesis, my bad.
But yeah, fuck it. Well, they dove into the handheld market. What was the name of that shit? The fucking the Game Gear. Maybe they was
Yeah,
rolling on
Game
the
Gear.
truck. The Game Gears must have been going, yo.
See,
I
but
fucking had a Game Gear. Game Gears were terrible, yo.
I had one too, but my grandfather got me a Game Gear, but like my only problem with the Game Gear, like I can only play that bitch when I was in the car because like it came with the car port, you feel me? With
Right.
the car charger port. And it looking back at it as an adult, like it made no fucking sense. You feel me?
Right.
Like,
I don't
how
even think
long are
niggas
you
was really
gonna
up
be
on
in
the
a fucking
cigarette
car?
lighter shit too.
Yeah, like niggas was only just using the cigarette lighters just to fucking smoke cigarettes and cigars and shit.
Right. When you
feel
told me that, I was like, oh shit. Like I was going through fucking packs and packs of fucking batteries fucking with that hoe. Like you gotta be fucking chameleon to afford this shit. Like I'm like, yo. But I ain't gonna lie, yo. That shit, the graphics on that hoe, that motherfucker, it looked good though.
It could have been a competitor with the Game Boy. to
It
be
looked
honest.
good. Yeah, I forgot
If
about
it wasn't
the
a
Game
killer
Boy.
on life.
How see
you
I'm
feel me?
high, yo, because I totally forgot about the Game Boy. Because once I got a Game Boy, when I tell you that Game Gear got some dust on that motherfucker, like I
But my
never
nigga-
played that joint again.
I just say this: Game Gear will always hold a special place in my heart for Shinobi. You feel me?
Yeah.
That was
See,
the
Sega,
only
they
game
had some
I
titles.
had on fucking Game Gear, yo. The only game, and I played the shit out of Shinobi. You
We
feel
need
me?
a new one, yo.
We definitely do. We need.
What was the last one on the 360?
What Shinobi?
Yeah.
We haven't had a Shinobi since PS2.
Yeah, big tripping. Definitely PS2. I had that bitch on the PS2 too. That was
I think the last
I think that's all Sega
game
do
you
now is
somebody
make
talking
fucking.
about was Ninja Gaiden.
No, yeah, I was thinking of Shinobi. It was PS2.
Okay. And Shinobi 2 was fucking fire too, to be honest. Like
Sega-
that was another
they
low
got-
key
they-
ninja game.
They have some alright titles. Like Sega had, I think they're making a lot of money right now off of their like entities now.
Yeah, to be honest, once it, like I hate to throw it back to the Dreamcast, but once they
Yeah,
came
we
up
getting
with
there.
IPs
Right there. We
for
right there with the
you
Dreamcast.
feel
Yep.
me?
They Dreamcast started the 2K franchise.
It did. Not only that, if it wasn't for Dreamcast, we wouldn't have got like I'd say like what Resident Evil is today.
Yes.
If it wasn't for the Dreamcast.
Yes.
You feel me? Real shit.
Capcom versus Marvel.
We can't forget about that shit, my nigga. Like when we look down at it, like Sega was on some shit
I'm on
when it came
eBay
to
right now looking
like
for a
early
Dreamcast.
2000s. Shit, if
The
you can find one,
Dreamcast
nigga,
was
let
the
me know.
Dreamcast was amazing, yo. Like it was
It
really like,
was.
and it did. And you know why I didn't get to get its shine is because they did that same stupid shit. Like they didn't really
Yeah.
advertise it like that.
Yeah.
So when it came out, I remember like seeing the shit about a Dreamcast in a magazine, and I was like, oh shit, Sega come out with a new console. And then when my cousin came home from college, he had one. And I was like, I was playing this shit. I'm like, yo, this is the hardest shit I've ever played. Like when it come on the little blue and all that shit, you like, yo, this shit is hard. And then niggas found out how to burn their own games, and it was a wrap for that whole console.
Oh my god,
It
the
was a
piracy
wrap.
era.
It's a
The
whole
piracy
wrap
era
for that console, yo.
nigga, I had what I had. I had Resident Evil 4
Allegedly.
Veronica.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I had Resident Evil 3. I had so much
Ready
shit,
to
my nigga.
rumble, fucking
Ready to Rumble was
every
the shit.
Capcom
Afro,
Marvel.
my nigga Afro Thunder. What
Hell
nigga?
yeah. Damn, yo, all the 2Ks, everything. Like, yeah, give me all of that. I need everything. I need everything, Mr. Sega. Allegedly. But
I mean, but I think that's also a part of the downfall too, though. How easy the piracy was.
and it was that era, yo.
Yeah,
That era right
like
there.
niggas was actually learning to use the internet at that time. Like,
And I think like they didn't use a DVD ROM. They used a regular ass CD ROM.
yeah, when you can literally just burn a game and literally just burn whatever off the CD and just have that shit. Like, it was so many alleged copies of the old Tom Clancy Rainbow Sixes that niggas had back in the day. You feel me?
I remember literally saying the CD man, like he was like, "Oh, you don't want no CD? I got games too. You got Dreamcast? I got all the games. What games you want?" I'm like, "Damn, yo." I know Sony hurt, not Sony. I know Sega hurting right now because like niggas is giving it up on these game tips. Like the CD man got the fucking Dreamcast games.
Yeah.
I think, but look, they had to have a spike in console sales for that shit because I know a lot of niggas who was like, "Oh shit, I'm about to grab a Dreamcast."
Oh, yeah.
I know a
My
lot
nigga
of niggas
Mal-
that grabbed the Dreamcast after they found
I
out.
remember by the time Malibu's Most Wanted, at least 15 niggas in my classroom had a Dreamcast. By the time Malibu's Most Wanted came out.
Man, I'm just sitting here thinking about all the titles that bitch had, yo. Like they
It
had
had some hitters,
games
yo.
on that motherfucker, yo. If they could have kept all of that
Shabu.
exclusive, yo.
You feel me? Blue Stinger. My nigga. And these are cult classics that niggas are still looking for to this day. Like, niggas
Like-
are killing their computers just to get the emulators for these
Yeah.
bitches. You feel me?
Yeah, you're not lying. I got a whole Xbox with the whole Sega franchise on that shit. Like, so we still playing them games. It's just crazy, allegedly. It's just crazy that it's crazy to think that like if they could have kept all of those titles exclusive, Tone, like you talking about a hitter in today's like right now.
Yeah. That's why I throw it to the Xbox Expo, yo. Like I'm still disappointed.
And that's why we having this talk today because it was like the big headedness of Sega and how their console down felt. It was like I can't help but take some comparisons with Microsoft for some reason.
Yeah.
It's like you not like I'd hate to go back to it. You're not parallel with your community, man. Like y'all niggas is not parallel with us. Y'all not listening to what we saying. But at the same time, y'all are. I had time to divulge the whole interview, the whole event. I'm sorry. It was pretty good, yo. Like they announced a lot of stuff, and like I was telling you off mic, like it's a new console, bro. Like you know what I mean. Like it's not gonna be very many games there. Like that's with everything. I remember when the 360 launched, they had fucking Cameo and all of that other stuff. It was cool, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh man, this is really pushing the boundaries of the hardware. This is really. We won't see that till later on in the generation, of course.
But I think it's one thing when it comes to like the standalone exclusive title for a console.
Yes.
It's that one very essence in it, you feel me, that just lets you know like, yo, this is mine. You feel me? And I think that's the biggest sentiment that all Xbox players is really just crying for. We don't have nothing to actually say this is mine. Like, for Christ's sakes, like Cuphead is not even ours no more.
And I think they just announced recently that Sony got a timely exclusives in the tuck too, but I think Microsoft showed a
Yeah.
few timely exclusives too. Are you stupid if you think Stalker 2 isn't going to be on the
I
PS5s?
mean, but if you think about it, like in every E3 that passed, right? Sony at least had one or two or three exclusives inside their trailer ban. Even back into the old Xbox days, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
It was always one or two or three exclusives that just had that shit hyped the fuck up to the point you know what the fuck this shit is about to be about. You feel me?
Yeah.
You kind of getting ready for the console and shit. And what's so scary, I think, to a lot of Xbox players is it's Xbox is falling into that Sega like wormhole and shit, and it's kind of ironic that they did acquire their IPs. You feel me? And that they're falling into the wormhole and shit.
Like I said, I'm going to look at the glass half full in this situation because I'm saying all this shit now, but they're going probably
Well, you can't
middle of
really
next
dictate a
year.
war until like
Yeah.
the first 6 months.
Yeah,
How
like the
that shit
shit's
really
not even
planning
out. But you know, like us as gamers, we always speculate and we get on our horses, and that's the best part of like being a gamer and all of that shit. Like, cause you know you get to talk your shit when the console doing well, and this generation we kind of got our teeth kicked in. We couldn't really say shit because the shit came out, and you know what I mean. Like typically Xbox would be a little stronger. It wasn't, and then like the games are being ported over to PS4, and it was looking amazing. Our games were 720p. They were struggling to keep up in frame rate. And then you had the always online stink. You had all the other TV stuff coming into it. And then it was like outselling the Xbox. It was cheaper. They was telling us we needed Connect and all this shit. It was a very bad launch. You know what I mean? Like a very, very bad launch on Microsoft's behalf. They kind of cleaned it up towards the back half of the generation, but they didn't at the same time because they gave us a better console because niggas was talking about graphics, but then they didn't give us any new IPs. They didn't give us, you know what I mean, anything to beat our chest about.
And that's what I think. That's like in the essence of being a gamer. Like having tech is cool and all, yo, but like if you don't have nothing to play on that bitch, then it's kind of like, yo, I just have this hardware and it's just sitting there.
You feel
You
me?
feel me?
It's like having a Bugatti on a Baltimore City street. You feel me? You can't open that bitch up. There's too many
You got
potholes.
Bugatti parked on a one-way street, my nigga. And you live in like a cul-de-sac full of nothing but one-way areas. Can't whip that
With speed
motherfucker
bumps.
nowhere. Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, it's there, and it's like, and it, like we always beat that drum here on the show. It's all about the developers, and if the developers is favoring the PlayStation, you guess what they're going to do? They're going to develop the game for the PlayStation and then try to make it fit the Xbox. And then another thing that's going to be slowing it down too with the Xbox is going to be the second console that they launching with it, because now the developers also got to try to develop for this weaker console.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we not getting them, you know what I mean, developing for the weaker console, then upscaling onto the Series X, because we're gonna get some terrible games, and then you launching with Halo. Like Halo doesn't even look like a system seller at this point.
I'm still hoping that Halo rendition was on the Xbox One and not the Series X. I'm still one of those niggas that's hoping on that shit. You feel me? But I don't know. I don't know. Like, Xbox is a wild card. It's a motherfucking wild card, yo. It can go either way, yo. It could be one of the greatest motherfucking things that ever graced this motherfucking gaming industry, or it could just be the most detrimental shit that ever happened to the fans. You feel me? That's how I'm feeling at this point.
I'm looking, and for me, looking at sitting back and looking into it as like a business way or some shit. Maybe I'm looking at it like they putting a lot of the development and the dollars into like the console and then the service, and then you know what I mean, you gonna reap what you sow. So all the service members gonna log in, they're gonna make their payments, and all that's gonna come back. You take that, you put the money into the studio's hands, and you make games. I'm hoping that's the formula they're looking at. Cause niggas can't go another how long? When did these consoles come out? 6, 8 years, whatever. We can't go
About 7 years ago.
we
yo.
can't
6 or
go
7
that
years.
long without seeing any exclusive heavy hitters. You feel me? You
Like
gave
my
us
nigga.
Gears on a 360. Gears, and then you keep feeding us Gears. We on like Gears 19 or some shit. Like, okay, we got it. We on Halo Infinity now.
My nigga, they gave us so many Gears to the point they gave us spin-offs, and it's still on Gears 5, bro.
Let me ask you this. Like, this is the crazy part. Halo came out on the Xbox OG, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the last Halo that came out was 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Gears is on like 5 too now, right?
Yeah.
And they also have like a bunch of
The
other
next Gears
sequels and
about to come out
pre-parts,
on
right?
6.
So like, how did Gears catch up already? Like, come on, chill on the Gears, yo.
It's not even chill on it. Well, they could have ended Gears like back in 3, in my fucking
I
opinion,
thought
if
they
you
did
ask
end
me.
it. The last
You
one
know
I
they
beat
had to
was
milk
3.
that motherfucking cow. They had to milk that cow. Cause which one was it after Gears 3? It was whichever one that had Baird. It was like the backstory of how everybody became everybody or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
and I was
That was like that was like the most least that was like the most hated one apparently and shit like that. You feel me?
yeah.
But like I don't know, bro. Like I said, yo, like Xbox is not looking good. Like niggas might get another fucking crackdown before we get anything decent. You feel me?
It how Crackdown 3 came out. They announced Crackdown 3, I think,
I don't even remember when the
around
fuck Crackdown 3 came
360
out.
time, yo. That shit did not come out to the Xbox One X.
My nigga, I remember my homie being in high school, like starting high school, when Crackdown, what was it, Crackdown 2 first came out. This nigga is now graduating college. Well, he just now graduated college when Crackdown 3 came out.
That's crazy.
You feel me?
I remember they was talking a lot of shit about, oh, Crackdown 3 will be powered by the cloud.
That shit was fucking trash. And then they had Terry Crews out of all niggas.
Yeah, got the Terry Crews stink on it.
Well, I mean, I already had the stink on it before Terry Crews. Like me personally, Crackdown was just over fucking hype. Period.
It was.
Like,
One was cool, but it was just like, you kind of bought it.
yeah,
'Cause it was like it
was
came
cool
out
for
around the
what it
time the
was.
360 was new. You like, all right, cool. I grab this shit. It sounds like a good idea. You play a
And it was
cop,
probably
and you
one
can,
of the first games that already came with it too.
Yeah.
For most people.
or just something that you grab. Like, oh, let me try this shit. Not for nothing. If you like coming from the Xbox to PlayStation 2 and then playing Crackdown, you like, yo, what the fuck is this?
The fuck is
I
this,
remember
yeah.
that feeling, so I ain't
Yeah,
mad at niggas.
I remember, like,
I remember
back in, like,
playing
G4
Crackdown.
days.
Yeah, I remember that shit. And then you had to grab the little fucking emblems around the map, and you like, this nigga can lift up cars. What the fuck? It was a good game, but like, I just hate to see that parallel with Microsoft and Sega. Like, I'm like, don't do the Sega route, because we look at Sega as like, I remember for a while, Sega, like, you look at a Sega game, like, I'm not buying no, it's a Sega game. I'm not getting that shit. I know it's trash. Like, I know it's trash. I ain't even fucking with it. Sega made it, yeah, I'm okay. And then they just they like, what was that Sonic game that came out on the 360? The first Sonic game, Sonic 2006 or some shit like that.
I don't know, my nigga. I logged off of Sonic after Sonic Heroes, yo.
Sonic 2006 or some shit like that. It was I think it's on everybody's list. I think you can look up. It's probably E.T. and then that Sonic game on everybody's list for the worst game ever.
Oh wow.
Like, that Sonic game was so trash, and I'm like, Sega, what are you doing, yo? Like, what are you doing right now? Like, you killing Sonic, yo. And then I think for a while, I think Nintendo started getting Sonic back right. Like he had to go fuck with Nintendo to get right.
Sonic had to go to the Olympics and train with Mario just to get his life
had to get right. I was like, when I remember saying that shit, like, it was a big deal too. Like, when Sonic was at the Olympics with Mario, you like, oh, I remember that shit. It was a big deal.
It was the clash of two titans.
It was a big deal. And then you started seeing this nigga on Smash and shit. Like, oh man, for like niggas who grew up in that era, that Sonic and that Mario beef era.
But that's why I don't know, but that's why that statement is strong, yo. Like, it's just a disconnect between the community and the developers itself. Because when it comes at hand, it's not like niggas is screaming for games. You feel me? And it's funny, yo, because these niggas will always say, all right, we're promising you gameplay. We're promising you games. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
They give you games, but it's not the games that you're looking for. You feel me?
But look,
It's like that motherfucking...
The wild shit is we'll be sitting
like,
there holding up a sign like, this is the game we want. And they like, okay, you want this? Let me give you that, though.
And the wild shit is, yo, the sales on these bullshit ass indie games don't even be shit to actually require a fucking sequel or actual attention to them.
I can't say that because some of these games be having a nice base behind them.
Unless no bullshit, yo. if your game ain't like making the top fucking hitways for like the past 3 years, yo, your shit is just trash. As an indie developer, like on some real shit, like it's niggas still playing Super Meat Boy till this day.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's shit like that, and it's like when it comes down to it, yo, like it's just Xbox is just milking the fucking cow and just giving it just to these bullshit ass studios, yo.
I won't say
That's
milking a
how.
cow. Like I know it feels like that. I remember like I don't know if you remember the change back before they were called indie games when they were arcade games.
Mhm.
And I was like, and Microsoft was announcing the whole, oh, we gonna give you a game a month, and then they would just always give you the most bullshitest arcade games. You're like, yo, I don't want
It
none of this
still do
shit.
give you the most bullshitest games a month, yo.
So like,
I'm and that's another thing I got a issue with them niggas about, yo.
we can't expect the most.
I
Like
don't mean
yeah,
no harm,
it's look how spoiled we is, yo. Imagine that like back in
bro.
the day,
Bro,
free games, yo.
I understand this shit, yo, but when it comes down to my free game list on my PlayStation is shitting on my free game list on my Xbox.
I wouldn't know. I don't have a PlayStation anymore.
And this is just a comparison of,
But
of just two
because
consoles.
Sony got more to dig from though?
No, it's not even that. Because when it comes down to like the dual IPs that both these niggas share, it's just that Sony is just giving out better fucking titles. Like my nigga, no bullshit. Sony gave out what was it, Mass Effect, all the Mass Effects, all the motherfucking I think Resident Evils. They gave niggas hella Capcom shits just for like the whole month and shit like that. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft will give you motherfucking Alan Wake on 360, Banjo Kazooie,
You getting 3 games, yo.
and motherfucking Portals.
That is some trash
Shit
right there.
that
I ain't gonna
niggas
lie.
already had and shit that niggas already played. Mind you, 2 of these games niggas already got on backwards compatibility.
I don't even pay attention to our list, yo, to be
So
honest with you.
that's what I mean, yo. Like it's a fucking disconnect, yo. Even when it comes down to the Game Pass, I be looking at the Game Pass.
Like
Game
this could be
Pass is
better.
alright, but the list could be fucking better.
It will get better though. I will say that. Like once, like
I
Microsoft
don't
already
think
announced, it
so.
will because they already announced that they're going to put all their first party stuff on there. So like every Microsoft Studio
These
game that they
niggas don't
make,
have no first party shit. That's what I'm
they
saying, yo.
do, they
When it,
do. It's coming,
name a
yo.
first part, name something big. That's a first party, please.
Obsidian. They got like you said, they got the Sega franchise. They got Rare. They got a couple big studios. It's just they
We ain't
don't
seen no
put
red
the bread in
titles
there.
in them trailers. We ain't seen no Obsidian trailers in them
We
titles.
did see Obsidian. They the new game that they developing.
Uh,
But like I said, we just gotta wait. I guess we just gotta wait and have
this nigga's
confidence.
gonna give us a fucking library full of nothing but all the Forzas, yo. Forzas
I ain't
and
mad
Gears
at
of
that.
War, yo.
I ain't mad at the Forzas. I don't know what the Gears was. Niggas gonna have Halo on launch when you get it and all that other shit. I mean,
Man, like I said, yo, I might get the PlayStation day one, yo, and
I
I
ain't
might
mad at
wait for
that.
the Xbox.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at anybody who make a conscious consumer effort to like. If you want to grab that and play Spider Man until the Xbox catch up in games, what's wrong with that? You know what I mean? By that time, you probably gonna have a nice library of single player games that you've already completed.
See, by that time, I'm scared I might actually just be fully a PlayStation nigga at that
You gonna get
point. You feel
consumed.
me? Because the thing of it is, yo, it takes 28 days to get hooked on some shit. You feel me? To actually know you hooked on some shit. And for the simple fact that as soon as you buy that console and that's the newest shit, and niggas is not going to neglect
That's
some
how
new shit. You
that's how
feel
they
me?
caught a lot of PS4 niggas.
Of course,
I know mad niggas that went from the Xbox 360 to a PS4.
the PS4, of course. And a lot of them niggas will swear out by the PS4 that it's the greatest shit ever.
Yeah, a lot of
Even
them niggas
though
swear about it, and I'll be like, these niggas is lying. I've had a PS4. Like I was,
the
nah.
same. And the thing of it is, when I look at it, it's just the only reason why they say that shit is just because of the games, yo. These niggas don't give a fuck about tech or nothing. It's just games.
Yeah,
And that's when it comes to being a gamer, yes, itself, it's just the games. You feel me?
right.
Niggas can play the shittiest graphic game that's up to date nowadays, just as long as the gameplay is solid and the story is good.
I'll play Vice City right now. You turn it
You feel me?
on, like right now.
On some real shit?
I think you were just playing Conquer not too long ago. So like
Exactly.
that shit don't matter. And on that bombshell, we're gonna go ahead and end this episode. It's been another good gamer talk and all that shit, man. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to drop down in the comment section below all the beautiful strands you guys are blowing that got you through the week and all that good shit. Tone, go ahead and drop us on out of this podcast, my guy.
Motherfucking Uncle Phil, nigga. You fucking us up, nigga.
Damn, you
fucking
gonna
with
fill
us.
up by his collar, yo?
Man,
God,
fuck
damn.
this nigga, yo. On some real shit, yo. I'm tired of niggas lying to me, yo.
Uncle Phil came
Normally-
to the function tipsy?
Nah, fuck tipsy, yo. That nigga came to that bitch lit it, you feel me? All types of shit. Smacking on niggas' aunties' asses and shit, you feel me? On some whole disrespectful shit. Like, this nigga Uncle Phil is just really fucking with niggas, yo. Like,
We
fuck
expect
that
more.
nigga, yo. We expect more from this nigga. This nigga somehow he's for the gamers. This nigga ain't for the gamers, yo. Fuck that nigga.
Damn.
Until I see different. Fuck that nigga.
Damn. We should have some gunshots. But we out of here.
Bang, bang.
Tune in this Friday for the afterthoughts and all that good shit.
Motherfucker.